Alright YouTube, how you guys doing? Let's see what we got here. Alright, in front of you, this is going to be a shout out to Wayne Osborne. He was watching the video of the Nova build and he's like, I would like to know how you did the cowl hood. So here's what I did. Products you're going to need. You're going to need some kind of pen for marking. You're going to need some sandpaper to to shape it up. And then you're going to need another piece to finish it off. I'm using a razor saw for my Dremel to do some of the cutting. So you're going to need either a hand saw or a brand new number 11 blade. Super glue, the kicker, piece of tape. Now you're going to need the hood of your choice. I chose this orange Camaro hood so that way what I do will stand out on it. Stand out. You need a piece of sheet plastic. Today I'm choosing evergreen 0.15 styrene. And I use evergreen strips. And what I'm using today is going to be 40.156. The 40 is the thickness, the 156 is the width that's going left to right. Now it comes in all different sizes. You see the 100, the 156. What else do I pick up? These are just common sizes for me. But you can see all the different widths and everything. So I always pick up a handful for different things. Alright, first thing I do is I grab my hood. I'll grab my hood. I take my piece of tape. You can use whatever tape you want. This right here is 3M Automotive Refinishing Tape. And then I find my hood and I try to center the tape right down the hood. And then this hood I have already had a hole in it. It's out of the parts box, so I try to center it up the best I can. Like so. And then I push it down, that way all the edges are stuck. And then I take my Sharpie and I trace that edge all the way front to back, all the way down like that. And then when I remove the tape, I got that. Alright, then take the piece of tape that I have, I put it over here on my styrene strip. Press it down flat so that way you get the straight edge. And then I mark it too the same way. All the way down. And then I should have told you guys you need a pair of scissors too. And my good scissors are gone. So, here it is. And then on the styrene, I just cut down that line with the tape still on it. Like that. So now right here I have the strip of styrene with the tape. And you can see it's going to fit right inside those lines. So then I take my styrene strip again. Then what I do is I lay it on the hood like this. So if those holes weren't there, let's start with this other end. I lay it on the hood like this. See if you guys can see that. I lay it on the hood flat, following that line I put. And with my Sharpie, I mark it at the back of the hood. So that's one piece. And then you start where that line is on that part of the hood. You edge it up. Then you mark that piece, like that. Right to the edge of the hood. Now if you're starting with the regular hood, that is best. You don't want, I'm not going to sand this down because I want you to see the buildup of the plastic. The white on white I didn't think it'd give it a good contrast. So what we're doing here is we're putting it right there. So I wanted you to see what I do. So then you cut. I cut on my line that I drew at the back of the hood for both pieces. And then I just cut straight down. Alright, so now I have two pieces. So then what I do is I make sure they're both going to be even. I don't know how that's off, but usually you cut them and they're right on. It's an on-camera blooper. So you just make sure they're both even for whatever reason. If they're not, you just make sure they're both even. So now they're focus up. Alright. Then check. Stand them on end and check. Like so. Let me see, get you guys in camera view here. And then follow your line and then check. It's a little bit of a slope to the hood, but we can work that out with the super glue. So you're going to do that. You see that? Alright. And you check both pieces. And both pieces are edge to edge. Alright. So then what I usually do is I hold them like so. I get my tape again. You got to make sure they're good and even. So I usually use a flat piece, run them up there, and that was going to be, you know, my tabletop is glass. And then what I do is I usually tape them together like so. I tape them together so that way they're flat on the one end and then up here. And then what I usually do is I got a big block sander. I know I showed you guys some sandpaper, but usually what I do is I'll go up there like this, and because I got the two together, I'm up there trying to shape them at the same time so that way they're shaped together. You know, you gotta be. This right here is the longest part of it. Is you got to make sure you get your shape good and even, Wayne, and anybody else that's following. All right, and then you're always checking your work to make sure you're getting it good and even. A little bit more. Alright, and then once you got your shape, you take your finish paper and there you go. You've gotten your, you know, we've taken our straight, now we got our edge, like so. Can you guys see that? Focus. And that's why you want a couple different grits of sandpaper, that way you can keep it all nice and clean. And then once you do that, you just open it up. Alright, and then what you do is you take your finished paper, now that you got them separated, and you just lightly Clean up the edges. You don't want to sand it too much and get your shape off. Just lightly sand it. Alright. So now that you got this done, if I was working on a real model hood, what I usually do is I take the sandpaper and just run it along the bottom edge that I'm going to glue to the hood, just to rough it up. And on the hood I was working, in the hood that you're working on, you want to scuff up right along that line, like so. If I was doing this a real car hood, this hood would already been washed and scuffed up. You know, this is right here. I'm just trying to give you guys a look at how I do it. And then you just, first of all, you'd already had your everything scuffed up. You don't want to ever glue on top of paint, guys, in a real project. You always want to have bare plastic to start all your work with. And so now that that's done, what I would do is look at where you're at. Look at how everything's going to go down. So you drew your line for your plastic and for your hood. So then you follow that line and you put your strip on that line. So you could either follow this line and glue your hood, or you could put your glue on your plastic. In this case, I put the glue on the plastic. It's a bit tedious, guys, so just take your time. You gotta have patience for this. And damn glue slipped out on my fingers. And give it some pressure. And that's why I use the kicker. Because when you use the kicker, it's going to instantly set it. And then just a little kicker like that. And then you got a little bit here in the background. Now, I call these walls. So once you get a wall up, you'll be able to see, you know, your height. That's the height we'll be at. Because I got the first wall up. Now let's work on the second wall. So once you get your second wall up, go ahead and kick it. I don't like the spray that comes from the little bottles. So what I did is I got this glass bottle with an eyedropper, and I get to apply it where I need it instead of doing the spray and the whole area gets tumbled. So now you look at your work, you look it over, and since you follow that line, you're straight. And since you use the same type of plastic, you got the same height. So now after you get all that in, just run your sandpaper over the top, like so, just to get this top ledge roughed up a bit. Now this guy here is going to be different because, you know, we're at the front of this Camaro hood. And on the Camaro, you know how it has the header panel and stuff. So what you do now is you take your piece of plastic. If you glued your walls on the insides of your lines you drawed, your plastic that you used, the plastic you selected to use, should go straight across the top like so. It should be the same width and everything. So usually what I do is I put glue over everything but the curve. Then what you do is you go past the curve with your plastic. And you try to edge at least one side right on your wall. Then the other side you can always clean up. And then once you do that, once you know you got your top on and you're within your edges like so, then what I do is I carefully put the glue in there like so, because once I got that edge done, and then I pull the edge of the hood clear on over like this. Then I do have some clamps. I didn't pull those out for you guys, but usually I have some clamps. And then what I do, see if you can't focus. Then I push up on that piece of plastic the best I can, and then I run my glue in there. And I don't put kicker on that just yet. I let it fall in there a bit. I take a Q-tip, I run across the edge like that, take back the excess. Then, just with your hobby knife, you kind of follow the back of your hood and you start cleaning up the back of the scoop. Like so. Then you run your sandpaper over it. Like that, so you get the shape of the back of your hood. And then on the front of the hood, you take your knife and you follow the shape at the front of your hood without cutting into your hood. And then you take your sandpaper, and this time when you're taking your sandpaper, you kind of want to sand over the edge. You kind of want to roll the edge so that way you're getting away from that hard point. You want it to flow over the hood. Now that you got your basic shape, now just take your sandpaper. You take your roughest one that you're going to use. You come along and you clean it up. You clean it up, and then you want to roll the edge on it as well. And remember, whatever you do on an edge, you got to do all the way down the edge, because you can reshape stuff by accident. Sometimes I have a big mess of super glue right there. So sometimes you take away too much product. So what you gotta do, you gotta get in there and you gotta clean that up. And that's why I always work with the new blade, so the new blade can get up underneath there and get all that. And like I said, this is just a scrap hood, unless somebody's got an MPC Camaro they need a cowl hood for. And then you always make sure you clean up all your edges. And like that, Wayne, you got your cowl hood. Simple as that, guys. So I hope you guys, you know, and the more you do it, I did this real quick. The more you guys do it, the cleaner they get, the more it comes accustomed to you. And just hope that helps you guys. This is Minnie, and appreciate everybody that follows me, all your comments that you guys have been leaving the last couple days. And hope this helps not only Wayne Osborne, but anybody else that was curious on how to do a cowl hood on yourself, you know, by yourself. It looks a little high on this side, but I don't know if the hood itself is warped. But if you stay with the same size plastic, both this way up and down, it should never be uneven. So I'm gonna see. And gap is fine. Huh. Maybe it's just a visual thing. But here you guys go. Hope this helps. This is Minnie. Peace until the next time. Happy birthday, Fast Jimmy. See you guys.